Hey YouTubers, got another video coming at you tonight from Bat Vapes. I know it's only been 24 hours since we've had one, but I actually had a tank come in the mail today that I forgot that I ordered. Well, I've been busy, so I've got reasons to forget things, but what we have tonight, we got in the Amit RTA by Geekvape. This is a 22 millimeter tank. It's got your standard 510 drip tip at the top. The tank holds 3.5 milliliters of e-juice, which is actually pretty good, and comes in black and stainless steel, two different stains or finishes or whatever. And I know that there's also a double coil out there right now, but this is the single coil build. I've been looking for a while to get a single coil tank, easier to build, and you go through less e-juice, and it's more of a controlled vape. But basically this has got what they call the three-dimensional airflow. It's supposed to have some of the most fantastic flavor of any RTA that's out there right now. So, it's subjective, a lot of it, but I haven't had any problems with Geekvape stuff. I happen to like it quite a bit. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go down here in just a second. We're going to take a look at it. I'm going to do a couple things with it, possibly a build here, and then we're going to take a vape on it and see how it goes. Okay, well, we'll be right back here with you. Okay, we're down on it right now. It just comes in this standard plastic Geekvape case that a lot of their stuff comes in. Actually has a little cardboard sleeve on the outside, and this thing is a pain in the butt to get off. It's very snug. It's awesome. It's got all of your scratch and checks on there to make sure it's authentic. You can check on Geekvape's website to confirm that. Also has this thing, I think this is hilarious right here. Let's get that into focus here. This product contains nicotine, which is a highly addictive substance. Well, FDA, you can suck on it because you're the ones that made us put that on there. There's no nicotine in this unless you put some in it, but at any rate, okay, I guess you could say a lot of American cars have nicotine in them because people smoke in their cars, but at any rate, so here we are right here. Like I said before, it comes in the stainless steel and black options. We happen to get the black option this time. This is actually my first black tank, so I thought, hey, let's branch out a little bit and try a few new things here. Okay, so it comes in this nice, sturdy, rubberized stuff right here, which keeps your tank nice and secure. And there it is right there. This is also one of the top flow tanks here. It's easy to fill. We'll go down there here in just a second, take a look at that. Down here at the bottom, you got your standard 510 gold-plated tip. And at the bottom right there, it says Amit. Well, we're having a focus problem tonight. Amit, and it's got a serial number on there, a couple other different things. Very nice tank. I think it's going to look very nice on my Smoant Battlestar. Kind of tired again tonight. Okay, got a couple other things in here tonight. We've got extra tank here for those of you that are clumsy and like to drop things on the ground and break them. And that's always nice to have, instead of breaking your tank and then, oh no, I can't use it anymore because I don't have any more glass. Okay, another nice thing that I like about Geekvape, and not a lot of companies do this, but this actually comes with a user manual. It's got some safety tips in here, some service numbers if you're having problems. It's got instructions on how to build. It's actually very handy, but I prefer to get my information off of YouTube videos and stuff like that and figure some things out on my own. So anyway, I got a couple other things down here. We got a nice little baggie of some extra parts. We've got some extra O-rings here. Got an extra set of screws, and it looks like these screws are they? Is it possible? I can't tell. Looks like they are indeed. Yep, they are Phillips head screws. That is very nice. And of course, you got the nice little Geekvape tool right there. That's got the flat end. It's got the little pokey thing. It's got that part right there, and that's just the way it should be. So that's about all we got in there right now. So let me go ahead and ignore my dogs as they're barking in the background, and we're going to go down here, take this thing apart, and take a look at it. Okay, we're back. We got the bottom post off right there and take a look inside. It's very nicely milled, very clean machining going on in there. Very nice stainless steel interior. It's got the fluted top right there for better flavor production. Take it right up here to the 510 drip tip. And of course, to remove the glass, you would unscrew the top of this right here, and the glass pops right off down here at the bottom as well. And if you go down here to the build deck, you'll notice that this is a kind of unique system here. Like I was saying before, this has the 3D air control. Now, if you look over here, you've got your 3 air holes right here coming up from the sides out here, which is a fully adjustable and closed off air control system right here. And then you've got your 2 airflow holes right here in the middle that are right underneath your build. Your build would kind of like a standard build here, but it's a single deck system. Actually quite big holes right there, so that's definitely enough room to get some of your larger builds in there, like your few stapled Claptons and oh gosh, just any number of ones that you could possibly think of, all the way from your simple staggered fused tiny little Claptons all the way up to some of the larger 22, 24 gauge builds that you either buy pre-made down at your local vape shop or make yourself, which, you know, I kind of do a little bit of both. So at any rate, right here, you'll see there's actually a pretty wide juice opening right there, juice well. And when you make your build, you put your cotton off to the sides right there and just have it down just a little bit right down there, touching to the bottom. They say don't cram it down there in there because you'll clog up your juice wells and prevent the tank from wicking properly. And when you don't wick a tank properly, what happens? Dry hits. And those of you that have done a dry hit, when you least expect it, it's like breathing fire in. It sucks. So at any rate, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to put a quick build on this, and then I will come back up and we're going to do a quick vape. Okay, we're back up top here. What we got here tonight is one of the first Claptons that I actually built myself here recently. This is a nichrome and Kanthal mix. It's, I believe, 26 gauge nichrome wrapped with 34 gauge Kanthal, and I got it down into a 3 millimeter, actually about 2.5 millimeter size build right there. And if you notice, you want to get it positioned right above those airflows right down there at the bottom, and kind of right in the middle right there. So we're going to go ahead and heat this sucker up and make sure that it's heating evenly from the inside to the out. And then we're going to go ahead and wick this baby up. And actually I got this build down here. It's on a 0.77 ohm. So we're reading pretty good. And you'll notice that your single coil and your double coil are going to throw off different ohm ratings because there's less resistance with one coil than there is with two. So, you know, it's a little bit safer to vape. Well, at least on a mechanical mod it would be. But getting back here, what we're going to do here, we're going to go ahead and fire this thing up to make sure that it's heating up evenly from the inside to the out. So let's go ahead and hit this here real quick and check on that. Oh yeah, very nice right there. Oh, I love that, just watching that. It's like, woo, you don't want to pulse that up there. Don't want to get it too terribly hot. Although nichrome and Kanthal is a pretty safe metal to vape on, still any metal, if you get it hot enough, it's going to put off vapors and fumes that you really don't want in your body. But you know what? Fire this up at around 100, 105 watts right here. But you know, when we go to actually vape on it, we drop it down to like 35 or 40 at the very most. So there's really relatively little danger in there. So, okay, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to wick this thing up with some cotton bacon, and we'll be back here in just a moment. Okay, real quick, you'll see here that we've got our cotton bacon, or, you know, any kind of organic or Japanese cotton that you like. You want to get it in there where it's snug, but it's not so tight that, you know, when you pull on it, your whole coil goes to the side and bends off, because, you know, that, you know, if it's too tight, you know, just think about it. It's not going to work too well. So typically what I like to do here is I just like to fluff out the ends of my cotton here a little bit. It just increases the wickability and helps it to soak up the juice a little bit better. Just gently go over that with the ends of your tweezers here, your ceramic tweezers or your stainless steel, whichever you happen to have. It doesn't really matter. And then what you'll do is you'll want to come in here and trim up those little doodads on the side right there, the little mustaches, and clip that baby up right there. And then remember, once again, you're just wanting to get that cotton down, just barely touching down into the bottom of that juice well right there, because we don't want to clog up the holes. We want the juice to be able to touch it, but at the same time be able to actually get through. And it's not that big of a deal, because once you put this on top of it and screw it down and get it on there, your juice is going to be going down there, and it's going to be surrounded by juice. So you don't need too much cotton in there, because like I said, you'll clog up the works. And anybody that's ever had broken pipes or constipation knows that clogged up works are no good. So let me go ahead and tuck this baby in, and then we'll start juicing it up, and then we're going to hit on it. Okay, there we go. We got the cotton tucked in there nice and softly. It's fluffed out a little bit. You're going to have a little bit of hair hanging off of there, but once you get it wetted up, just a little tiny protuberance down there on the side for a little bit of wicking. Get that up there. And let's go ahead and put some juice on here tonight. I've actually got a home concoction. I named it Nana's Milked. This is one of my creations. It's basically just a banana cream. I love it. 80-20 VG, 0 milligrams of nicotine in there. So I'm going to go ahead and put some on here real quick. So let's see here. Okay, we want to go ahead and get that nice and wet right there. Go ahead and get a little bit on here. Now you want to be sure that your airflow is clear down there, so you need to have your coil up far enough to where you're not going to be blocking that airflow and getting juice down in there, because juice is pretty tasty when you get it vaped, but if it kind of gets into your mouth in the liquid form, not so great. So, okay, we're going to go ahead and do that right here. Now, you'll notice that unlike a drip tank, there's no well down here for the juice to collect. So you want to get the cotton nice and juiced up here on the sides. Make sure that there's a little bit of room for it to get down there to the bottom there. Just anybody that knows anything about plumbing or anything like that, once again, and go ahead and get some juice on there as well. Then what you'll want to do is just take a moment and just pulse it a little bit, just to kind of cook that juice a little bit, get it worked into the cotton in there. You want to get it worked in there so when you finally do put this on and fill it up with juice and fire it up, you're not going to burn a hole through the middle of your cotton right there, because then obviously it won't wick right and it'll taste like butt. So anyway, you want to get a little bit more juice on there just to go ahead and let it soak in a little bit, as you saw right there, and then we'll kind of pulse this baby up a little bit. A few more times. Ooh, that's already kicking some vapes out right there. Kicking some clouds, baby. Yeah. Okay. All right. And obviously, whether it's with this kind of build or a sub-ohm tank, you definitely want to prime up your cotton the very first time that you have new cotton in there, because if you don't, you're going to have some nasty burning stuff. Blah, you don't want that. So, okay, hold on just a second. I'm going to go ahead and get the top of my tank on here, get her filled up, and then we're going to vape on it. Okay, just a real quick note here before we get down and actually put the juice in. Come on, Daniel, focus, son. Or focus, Daniel, son. I'm a retard. Okay, anyway, at the very top here, you've got your chimney hole down there in the middle. Obviously, you don't want to be dumping your juice down into that, because, well, that's just like, going to get it in places where you don't want. But you've got really two big fill ports here on the side. They're fantastic. You got these small little drip tips right there. You got the bigger ones like this that'll fit in there and have absolutely no problems whatsoever. So what we're going to do here, typically I like to, I know you can fill it all the way up to the top, but I like to get it like right to the top of where it actually says Amit on the side right there. Don't like to overfill things. Make sure your juice channel is closed before you do that. So we're going to go ahead and put some juice in here and crank that down a little bit. Okay. Now the only con that I see about this so far is that the top of it has to completely screw off. I'm kind of biased, I guess, when it comes to some of the other products that have the swing top like that. But you know what? It's cool. I mean, it's still easy to get to. The juice holes are ginormous right there. So, I mean, come on, you guys. Quit your belly aching. So we're going to go ahead and get this sucker put on here real quick. It's pretty easy screw down right there. 4 or 5 twists. Get that on there right there. And we need to go ahead. That is still a new coil. We need to bring that sucker down quite a bit right here. You don't want to vape at 100 watts on a build like this. We're going to go ahead and start with, we're going to do 40 tonight. So let's go ahead and put it right there. Okay, we'll be back up top here in just a moment. Okay, and we're back. Let's go ahead. Like I said before, we're doing this. I'm going to have to open up these juice wells here real quick. But we're doing this tonight at on a 40 watt burn on here on this homemade Clapton. That's a mix of Canthol and Nichrome, and 2.5 millimeter build, single coil deck. I've been waiting to get my hands on a single coil deck in a while because I want to save a little bit of money. You know, sometimes you just, you know, want something different. And this is what we're going to try tonight. So let's go ahead and hit this here real quick. Oh yeah. And I make some pretty decent juice too, by the way. You know, thought I'd throw that in there real quick. Oh yeah, chucking clouds there. Oh. I'll tell you what, they were not wrong about this. The flavor production on this is fantastic, and obviously just at 40 watts, you know, the vape production's really good too. Go ahead and crank it up here a little bit. You know, it is a slightly bigger build, so it can withstand these, you know, larger wattages on here. So let's go ahead and get it up to 50. That's a little warm, but, you know, it's still pretty good. So I think my sweet spot's probably going to be at about 42.5, which is, you know, kind of cool. You know, I'll have to burn it as high as some of these other builds. And, you know, obviously on the lower wattages, you're going to have longer battery life, and you're just generally going to be a happier guy or happier lady or whatever you happen to be at the time. But by the way, stick with one thing. That's the way to go. Anyway, off the political, little soapbox there, but I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go tonight. I just wanted to do a quick video because I got this tank in unexpectedly tonight. I was actually waiting for some wire to come from overseas, and it didn't get here yet, so I'm going to have to wait a little bit longer to do one of those, but that's all right. You know, this was fun. I love getting stuff from Geekvape, and once again, I'm going to put a link down at the bottom because not only did we get this from Geekvape, but we got it from a online store. I'll get this right. I really will. I will. An online store called My Freedom Smokes. That's actually where I got my Smo and Battlestar back at the end of February or whatever. And cool website, man. They've got lots of stuff on there. They've got some fantastic sales. They got some closeout stuff. They introduce some new stuff when it comes in. You know, they're always doing little promotions. Get on their email list and they'll send you, oh, this week, you know, 15% off of all this stuff or 20% off of this stuff. So, you know, I got this for a really good price with the discount that I got. And plus I had, you can earn points. You know, you spend points on there and you can, you know, I think it's like $1, you earn a point or something like that. I don't remember exactly what the ratio is, but, you know, the more you spend on there, the more you're going to save, you know, which is the way it should be, in my opinion, with everything, not just vape stuff. But anyway, go ahead and show these guys some love. You know, they're back in Charlotte, North Carolina, you know, back east or down south or southeast or over there, whatever you want to call it. But really good guys. You know, I got this sucker here in just a couple days. You know, no complaints whatsoever. These guys have been fantastic. They'll answer your emails if you have questions. Anyway, I digress. Let's get back over to it here. One last thing. I just want to thank you guys for joining me tonight for an unexpected video. Take just a minute to go over to the one side and like the video, and then go over to the other side and subscribe to our channel. That way you can be up to date with all the content that comes out, new videos and whatnot. And, pay attention to the comments underneath my videos, because from time to time I will get special codes that I can give to friends for bigger discounts on some things. I've gotten some from Fug and Juice Company. I've gotten some from, I believe Northland Vape sent me a couple of those. So, keep your eyes open from time to time. You're going to find deals on my site. Never going to ask you to buy anything from me, but, just support your local vape shops, support these online vape shops that sell some stuff that you might not be able to get where you live, because, where you live is, in the middle of nowhere, or just stupid and don't like vape stuff. But anyway, you can change that, because that leads me to my last thing tonight. Continue to say no to those nasty smokes, and continue to say yes to the vape. Live long and prosper, my friends. Good night.